Angela, are we good? I'm sorry?
Yes.
You are?
Yep, good.
All right. Good evening, ladies. Identify yourselves, please.
Okay.
Look, bring the microphone down. Get close.
Okay, I'm Meredith Dees, and I'll say the prayer, so bow your heads. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for allowing us to meet together, and thank you for the city of Brandon, and thank you for all that you do for us. And I pray that today goes well and everyone's night goes well. Amen.
I'm Mary Frances Grondin, and I'm going to say the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. All right. Yeah. You would note that there is a empty chair or two up here. And we will begin. Thank you for that prayer and thank you for the pledge. And if you'll note that there's one empty chair beside me now that we're all fully staffed again. Mr. Lou Coker is taking care of some prep work. Best way I know to say that. All right. Yes. All right. So we'll open this up for public comment. Is there one here this evening who'd like to make public comment? Hello, Miss Annie. I didn't see you sneak in back there. You ready to go back down to South Louisiana?
Yes, whenever you're ready.
No. All right. Can you hear me okay, Angela? Okay, board. If you would, remember to use your microphone. It's been a busy week, board. I want to thank y'all for allowing us to continue to have Veterans Day programs in City Hall. That was had a lot of compliments on that. Really appreciate the Mayor's Youth Council being there. Appreciate those that attended, all those that participated in the program. Says something special about Brandon to be able to do those types of things, and really appreciate the freedoms that we have today because of the service of many others. So we had, let's see, to catch up everybody, we had a concert here Friday night, Dwight Yoakam. It was well attended. We had a high school football game at Harrison Central, and got another one coming up this Friday, and I hope that I'm going to encourage everybody in Brandon to go to Brandon High School Friday night. We need people in the stands rooting our team on. Kind of difficult and kind of hard to beat the same team twice in the same year. So playing Warren Central, we have a concert here Thursday night. Little River Band will be here. That'll be a good thing on Thursday night. So a lot of activity going on, and we're not going to stop. Keep marching on. So right after this, we'll begin to gear up for the Christmas lights and the Christmas parade, and the Mayor's Youth Council will be heavily involved in both of those. All right. Board, you got any comments, thoughts? Had a great concert. Last concert of the amphitheater was Foreigner, had it. I think a lot of people enjoyed that. That was a good night. Wasn't too cold last night. Need another pen? I got one somewhere. You got it? Yes. Okay. All right. Without any further ado, we'll begin to plod through the agenda. Old business, approve the work session minutes and regular board meeting minutes of November 1st, 2021, and the special board meeting minutes of November 8th, 2021. So moved. Motion by Mr. Chris Vinson. Second by Ms. Sharon Womack. Any comment on those? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. One moment, please. So Board, Mr. Baker is asked to do under the mayor, number one, he wants to add some additional findings. And folks, if you would, welcome Miss Amy Davis down here. Miss Angela's out sick this week with a sinus infection, so she'll be back soon. But Miss Amy is plodding on, struggling with Mr. Baker. So please keep her in your hearts and prayers, all right? All right. We'll take number one separately. Let's see, authorization to hold bi-monthly meetings and events for the promotion of the city and its resources and approve payments of the same pursuant to the memo. Mr. Baker.
Mayor, I would like to add that if the board's inclined to do this, that the authorization to hold the bi-monthly meetings and events for promotion of the city and its resources and to approve costs for the same pursuant to the memo, first finding that the meetings are, one, an effective and efficient means to distribute, share, and receive information and to discuss matters requiring the involvement, cooperation, and collaboration of the city and its citizens, organizations, associations, businesses, and other interested parties, which is integral to the preservation of the health, safety, and welfare of the citizenry. Number two, the meetings are related to and incident to the goals and functions of the city, including but not limited to preserving, protecting, maintaining, and enhancing the quality of life in the city, including preserving and maintaining property values in the city and planning and implementing infrastructure maintenance and improvements and other public improvement projects and positive development in the city, including expanding and strengthening the tax base. And three, for purposes of advertising and bringing into favorable notice the opportunities, possibilities, and resources of the city, all of which will be helpful in advancing the moral, financial, and other interests of the city.
Mr. Mayor, was it microphone?
No, I don't think it was.
Could you repeat that?
I got it right here. Authorization.
What he said.
Motion by Mr. Harry Williams, second by, who said that? Ms. Talia Dobbs. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Thank you. And we'll take 2 and 3 together. Request permission to travel to Jackson, Mississippi to attend the Mississippi Municipal League Midwinter Legislative Conference on January 11th through the 13th. And item 3, consideration to approve an amendment to Exhibit C of the Sports Facility Management Agreement that was approved on August the 16th, 2021, and authorize the mayor to execute the same.
What is the amendment?
The amendment was the senior services position.
Okay.
Right, the senior
Baker.
services room, the senior services aspect of the Parks Rec Department
Okay.
was not
That's what I
included
thought.
in the original agreement, and to make that transition, you needed to do that.
We talked about that?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
I just want to make sure that's what it was.
Okay.
All right.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Chris Vinson. Second by Ms. Sharon Womack. Any other conversation on those 2 items? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Thank you. Make note that that's Miss Amy Davis. All right, Miss Amy, you got the floor.
Okay. Okay to take them all together?
Yes, please,
Okay.
slowly.
Request permission to declare Thursday, December 23rd, 2021 as an additional holiday in accordance with Governor Tate Reeves' proclamation dated October 22nd, 2021. Number 2, consideration to continue employee health insurance coverage with agent of record Hub International and authorize the city clerk to execute all related documents. Number 3, consideration to approve the fiscal year 2021 budget amendments and authorize publication of the same. 4, consideration to approve the docket of claims for October 29th and November 16th, 2021, and the Fox Everett claims released on November 4th, 2021.
Thank you, Miss Amy. Is there a motion to approve those 4 items? Motion by Ms. Talia Dobbs.
Second.
Second by Mr. Jared Crane. Any further questions, comments? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Thank you. Event services. I guess I'm going to handle that one tonight. Consideration to enter into a facility rental agreement with Journey Church and authorize the mayor to execute the same. We met with Brother Brandon last week, and they're getting busier and we're getting busier, and we just wanted to clarify that it's going to be in and out, set up, take down for both of us. So that's what that's about. All right. Is there a motion to approve that agreement? Motion by Mr. Harry Williams.
Second.
Second by Ms. Sharon Womack. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Board.
Thank you. 1 second, please. Charles, I got something turned around backwards in here. Board, while I'm fumbling with these to get something back in order, I want to say I received a compliment this week concerning Charles Smith involving Alderman Dwight Middleton at a home where someone was going to have to replace a sewer line, and they got one quote that was extremely high. And I believe Charles led them to a second vendor to get a second quote, and they're much more at ease and confident. So appreciate you taking the time in that yard, working through that with them.
Thank you.
All right, Charles, go ahead.
Mayor, I have 2 items, permission to take those together.
Yes, sir.
Item 1 is consideration to approve the Allen Engineering rate schedule to provide professional services related to the City of Brandon's MS4 permit issued by MDEQ, and authorize the mayor to execute any related documents. Item 2 is request permission to enter into an interlocal agreement with Rankin County regarding the annual joint asphalt bid.
You want to make any comment on that? Yeah.
No, 20 years ago, we got an Attorney General's opinion that said that the way we do the joint asphalt bid advertising was perfectly fine. Apparently, the county's internal auditors had particular issues with that for whatever reason, and so rather than just fight the process, it's just as simple just to go through the interlocal agreement and do it just like Dave suggested. So this will just get us right back to where we were, or are, excuse me.
Good grammar. And I'll ask Mr. Dodd to explain what an MS4 permit is when he gets up there, since that tends to fall in his wheelhouse. But you do need to know, Board, what an MS4, what that's about.
It says that is through the end of 2021.
Mr. Dodd will speak to that. All right. So is there a motion to approve those 2 items for Public Works?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Chris Vinson. Second by Mr. Harry Williams. Any further comment? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Thank you. Thank you, Charles.
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate you mentioning the sewer issue. I wouldn't have known about that if Dwight hadn't led me to it, so I appreciate that. We always encourage everyone to get multiple prices. Of course, there's more than one plumbing contractor that's pretty unhappy with me in town right now, so when y'all get those letters, I appreciate your support. Thank you.
Sound like an engineer to me. So tell us about MS4 permitting.
I may need to get Paul Lanning up here with, he's here with Allen Engineering. He may need to help me, but MS4 is basically our permit through DEQ to handle stormwater and illicit discharges. So, we did have a long discussion on, we've been talking about stormwater detention facilities. That's actually part of our MS4 permit. So us going out and inspecting them and making sure they're in compliance, that is part of the MS4 permit. Erosion control is part of the MS4 permit, and illicit discharge, which would mean any kind of contamination of water bodies. So this is our permit that we get through DEQ, which is of course oversaw by the EPA.
All of that in a nutshell. Pretty good synopsis.
Okay. Thank you.
Fire away.
3 items, permission to take all 3 together.
Yes, sir.
Item 1 is to rescind board action taken on July 6, 2021, under Section 7.5 of the minutes with regard to the temporary building located at 1382 West Government Street. If y'all recall, that was the CUP's temporary building to operate their business out of. They have since renegotiated a lease at their current place, and they'll be staying there for, hopefully, through the time that it takes them to build their new building. Item 2 is consideration to approve the Bethel Place preliminary plat. And item 3 is consideration to adopt a resolution adjudicating the cost of property cleanup at 2043 Red Oak Drive. That's parcel number 17M-1-650 in accordance with MCA 211911.
I believe Mr. Baker wants to speak to that.
Mr. Dodd, with regard to the item 9.2, is it your request also that in addition to approving the plat, that the variance be granted from section 1656 of the city's development ordinance to authorize the installation of storm drain pipe in accordance with Rankin County development regulations?
Yeah, correct.
All right. Thank you. Is there a motion to approve those 3 items from community development? Who said that? Ms. Sharon, Jared. Motion by Mr. Jared Crane, second by Ms. Sharon Womack. Any further discussion? Okay, we've got a question from Mr. Williams.
Kind of give me us an update on what their plan is with the building now, sitting over across the street, the old building, are they gonna move it?
The temporary building on site now, they plan to relocate it and then use it as their construction office during construction.
So what is their time frame to move it?
I don't know the time frame. I need to talk with the owner again. They are currently working with their architect and engineers on their construction drawings. I know their work, I did talk to their architect about 2 weeks ago. I think they're planning on submitting something soon. They have not pulled a permit yet. They're still in the construction planning process. But I could certainly reach out to the owner and see what the plans is currently for moving it.
This is gonna sound crude, but I'm gonna say it. I don't want it to become a parking lot for his equipment either. All that equipment, none of that equipment's moved. That truck with that little mini track on it has been there for 2 weeks and has
Okay.
not moved. So I just want to be sure that they keep the area clean during this time.
Until such time as we permit it. I see what you're saying. Okay. Okay.
Told you so.
So we're
Thank you.
rescinding the
Thank you.
action for them to use that as a temporary
Yes.
coffee shop.
Correct.
But we're allowing them to leave it on site?
They can leave it on site. We do have some provision in our zoning ordinance to allow for a construction office or construction trailer during such time as it is actively under construction. They did get a demolition permit. The building has since been demolished, so I understand Harry's concerns. They probably need to demobilize the construction equipment from the site, and then whatever construction equipment is used in conjunction with the construction of the building, once permitted, they're certainly allowed to have that on site. But just to
Yeah,
store
but
stuff right now,
Have they submitted any plans or anything to you?
they have not yet.
Okay, can I add something to that? If they don't take any action before the end of the year, then they have to remove that outbuilding, along with all the heavy equipment.
Agreed.
I mean, because it may be a year before they build.
I don't know their time frame, but yes.
So we have 3 board meetings left to clarify that. And thank you, Harry, and the board. I did not prompt Alderman Williams to make those comments, but I have been making them for about a month and saying exactly the same thing. So thank you.
I will contact the owner and see the plans for removal of the current equipment and the time frame for moving the structure or office.
Thank you. All right. So we are adding to that Mr. Baker, a timeline by the end of the year, December 31,
For the building
for the portable building that's there,
to be removed unless they
pull a permit.
pull a permit.
And equipment, right?
And the equipment before the end of the year.
You want to work on that? Let's don't leave that till you get it.
I'm not sure you need to do that, it just needs to be done. Don't we already have current authority for all of it?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
I don't know that it needs to be part of that. This is just rescinding the board action to allow them to use it for a business.
They're not under active construction, so there's nothing to be on that side.
Correct.
I'll just say this, just give us an update next board meeting of what their plans look like
I can do
for
that.
the building and the equipment.
Okay.
All right, here we go. So we got a motion and a second. Motion by Mr. Jared Crane, second by Ms. Sharon Womack. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Thank you. Hello, Chief.
Thank you.
Good evening, Board. Mayor, take all these together?
Yes, so you're going to have to get that microphone closer to you, or Miss Angela in the back of the room is going to come at you.
Yes, sir. That any better?
More better, thank you.
More better. All right, my first item is to accept the resignation of Patrolman Emmanuel Thurman effective November 16th, 2021. He took a position with Smith County SO back where he lives. Item 2, request submission for Lieutenant Brian Elwell and Sergeant Brad Connor to travel to Flowood to attend the International Leadership Course November 7th through the 9th, 2021. Third item, request submission for Sergeant Brad Turner to travel to Gulfport, Mississippi to attend the Crime Scene Photography course January 24 through 28, 2021. Fourth item, request submission for myself to attend the MACP Winter Conference in Ridgeland, December 14 through 16, 2021. And the final item, request permission to purchase a money counter and software and maintenance from CNA Associates in the amount of $4,920 and authorize payment from the Drug Seizure Fund.
And board, on number 5, we had a lot of conversation about that with the chief and the clerk, city clerk and I. There have been 2 instances where money has been improperly added up, would be a good way to say that, by the bank.
Yes, sir.
So this will be a good way to count before you go, to get a second count to make sure that that count is accurate. And that's kind of what that's about.
Yes, and this specific piece of equipment also records serial numbers, which can be used for,
Investigations.
yes, sir.
Okay. All right, is there a motion to approve those 5 items? Motion by Ms. Sharon Womack.
Second.
Second by Mr. Dwight Middleton. Any comment, questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign.
Thank you.
Chief. Thank you, Chief.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Permission to take all 3 together, sir.
Yes, sir.
Accept the resignations of firefighter Peyton Owens, effective November 17th, 2021. Firefighter Brandon Thompson, effective November 19th, 2021. Firefighter Taylor Rhodes, effective November 21st, 2021. Next item is consideration to approve the memorandum of understanding between the Brandon Fire Department and the Mississippi State Fire Academy to authorize Chief Brian Roberts to execute the same. That's for us to go out there and do some training on Fridays. Academy's not in use.
Pass it down.
Yes, sir. 2.
Just take one of those, pass it down.
There's only 2. That's misnumbered, sir. There is no 2.
Just pass it
It's
down.
misnumbered.
All right, so 2 items on the fire department. Is there any question about either one of those? Need a motion to approve, please. Motion by Ms. Talia Dobbs. Second by Mr. Harry Williams. Any conversation, comment, or question? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Board, back in public comment, I meant to give you one of these. I received this today, and it was on the bottom of my pile. I should have put it on the front, but it was an explanation from West Rankin Utility Authority. Might help you explain to people why wastewater treatment went up. There's a little bit of an explanation on that, and I'm going to be expanding on that conversation, but that came from Bruce Stevens explaining that. I guess they had a lot of questions in Pearl, and they felt like they needed an explanation. So that's what that is. Please feel free to share it. And Miss Angela, if you would, we'll take some of these and leave them on the counter in the senior center and that in the water department, please. All right. I'd like to remove executive session from the agenda. No need for that. And what? Would you like one? Everybody said amen. All in favor to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn. Second.
Motion by Mr. Harry Williams, second by Mr. Chris Vinson. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Thank you very much, board, for your patience in the work.